Hello everyone, welcome to Tea and Tiny Joys, a little corner of the songbird's nest where we hang out and share our impressions and thoughts on hobbies like Gunplas, TCGs, anime, manga, and more. Recently, actually, not that recently, it's been months, months. And I finally finished watching the anime Gundam GQuuuuuuX, or as I fondly recall, kept calling it GQuuuuuuuX. Anyways, suffice to say, my take on it, it was just marketing. Pure, unadulterated marketing. But what's new? Before we dive in, a quick disclaimer. I haven't really watched the entire Universal Century timeline, so if I missed any deep lore callbacks in this alternate universe, I apologize in advance. I'll do diligently watch the old one. I promise. Maybe we'll have a separate video for this, but yes. Anyways, moving on. Okay, we all know the drill. A new Gundam anime means a new line of kits for us plastic enjoyers. That's not a secret. Everybody knows that happens. But we have seen marketing anime that actually hold up. My example might be weird to some, or maybe you wouldn't agree at all, but Wish from Mercury is what got me hooked on building in the first place, despite its own few problems. Anyways, going back to GQuuuuuX, what happened in GQuuuuuX? Well, the premise is very straightforward. It's a classic what if scenario. What if Shoraznable was the one who found the RX 782 instead of Amarure? It's a fascinating setup, but it's not anything new. There's probably a lot of fan fictions out there that has the same thought, and at least, that's what they want us to think. That it's as straightforward as that. But the deeper I got, the more I realized the what if hook was just surface level bait for something much more cluttered. Yeah. From here on out, we're gonna be entering spoiler territory. Okay, to sum up my first impressions, I had two words that came along with it. I was definitely hooked and definitely confused. I loved the clan battles. They had higher stakes than Wish from Mercury duels, and the mech designs were chef's kiss incredible. But then came the confusion. As someone without deep Universal Century knowledge, I felt really lost. The show expects you to already know the factions, the key players, and the technical terms. They try to fix this with flashback episodes to show the what if changes, but it felt a little bit like homework because you're kind of still required to watch the original to just, differentiate the two. It lacked that entry point magic that Witch from Mercury had, and well, that means my hopes of this being a newbie friendly series flew right out of the window. To be fair, someone could just enjoy the mech designs and get hooked to building without minding the story. I'm a person who bought a Sazabi in the first place without watching Yuzu stuff, after all. But getting invested into the story and characters would be a great bonus, especially when you're trying to filter out your kits that you'd like to build and collect, unless you plan to make your house a Gundam museum. Moving further into the story, the plot didn't really get any clearer. Suddenly, we're in the middle of a Zabi sibling feud. One Zabi is making artificial new type child soldiers, which by the way, that Psycho Gundam was looking real good. The other wants to recreate a massive explosion to reset things. I'll be honest, I had a hard time remembering why she wanted to do this. I think it's to kill the other zombie, but then there was a scene where she poisoned the guy, so it might not be it. Do correct me if I'm wrong. If it's not a reset, I'm really having a tough time remembering. And then a guy named Chalya, who is very, very loyal to Char, is running around trying to fulfill his wishes by killing both of them. Oh, and the Char in this universe, who we found that was missing in the story, in the eyes of many, he probably died, but we didn't see any body, ends up actually being alive, which is understandable, since again, we didn't see the actual dead body. And for me, I never really fully believed a character's death unless they died on screen, so it wasn't a surprise. In the middle of all of this, it also just got weirdly indulgent. Take G-Fred for example. It felt completely irrelevant to the actual stakes of the story. It felt like the Gundam team was just pandering to the guest designer, giving him an honorary segment to throw in his own aesthetic with a promise of, hey, we're turning this into a kit. It'll be awesome, right? Don't get me wrong, I love the mech design. The colors, the silhouette, it's awesome, but it didn't really serve the story at all. Now, the story supposedly revolved around Machu and Nyan in this alternative world born in this what-if after the 1-year war. So yeah, let's talk about these protagonists. So, they're polar opposites. They represent two different social classes in the universe, and it was really interesting how they made their decisions based on their goals, circumstance, experience, upbringing, and all the emotions that came along with it. And there's all of that. But I wish the show didn't force them into a rivalry too soon, too fast. So we can have another, a different flavor of Amuro versus Char? At least that's how I felt they were trying to do. It didn't really have any time to stew. An iconic rivalry needs room to breathe. But here, it felt rushed and unearned. It was jarring. On top of that, they sort of forced a love triangle between Machu, Nyan, and Shuji. That just didn't need to be there. They could have just combined Machu and Nyan into one protagonist. Maybe there'd be a story with Machu, Shuji, and Lala without a distracted rivalry. It would have felt so much more focused and grounded. I'm not a Nyan hater. I actually absolutely love Nyan, but you know, it would have been nice to be more focused rather than selling a lot of the forced rivalry and stuff. We would have actually had more time to actually get to know Shuji as well, and where he came from and what his goal was. Well, besides looking for the rose, like what his motivations were. Or if they really want to throw in the romance or a love triangle, it could have been Machu being jealous of Lala, since Shuji's been dedicated to finding her. There could have been a misunderstanding about Shuji's intent, then something shocking will be revealed on Machu's face. It just blows up in her face, as she finds out that Shuji was looking for Lala to kill her. So, overall, we just definitely got bombarded. From clan battles suddenly not being important, to a sibling feud with artificial new type child soldiers that we never got to know, and massive explosion plot because of a rose that everybody has been looking for, including a mysterious pilot that we also never got to know of. Honestly, if you strip away the chaos, this whole thing was just about the Rose of Sharon and Lala Sune. Because the big twist was that the whole alternate reality was created by Lala Sune's grief, and she's been trying to make universes where Char ends up being alive, only to end up in a universe where he lives, but they never even meet. And Shuji wants to save her from this fact by destroying the rose and this universe, even if she dies, so that she never finds out. But hey, they just end up going back to the original universe anyway. It's hard not to think or feel like GQuuuuuuX was just a 25-minute commercial stretched out over a season. It used the what-if scenario as a flashy wrapper for a plot that didn't actually want to change anything. How would I fix it? Much like everybody else's sentiments, there should have been more seasons, more time to cook, more time to stew. Everything felt so compressed. if they had given it more time, all those subplots could have actually meant something. We could have spent a half a season on clan battles to build a world, perhaps, as an outcome to the 1-year war that happened with that what if. Have done more setups and let the protagonists grow to their potential as characters. Maybe a season on the setups of the Salvi siblings and the horror of the cyber new types, with another possibility of war with the use of Chief Red and the other mech. And since the rivalry have stood at this point, yes, Machu and Yan could have been on opposite side of the factions to increase the drama alongside a love triangle with Shuji. And finally, a season, or less maybe, that properly explored that everything was an alternate reality involving the Rose of Sharon and Lawless Grief. Like, they should have committed to world building in this what-if scenario, and leaving crumbs about the overarching plot as to why this universe exists in the first place, with the Rose of Sharon and Lawless Grief before tackling that on a final season. Because if there was one moment that I really liked in this anime, it was Lala Sune in this universe's appearance, and the short interaction Machu had with her despite what happened towards the end. It was a nice breather and a good introduction to who may be behind in all of this, which is this universe. Anyways, now what's the final verdict? Well, they threw an entire buffet at us at once, and we ended up with narrative indigestion. But hey, if you're here for the Gunpla, the kits, the designs are fresh and great. The what-if variations of classic suits are a builder stream, and I'll definitely be adding a few to my backlog if I haven't yet. And hey, maybe I'm just a using newbie who needs to hit the history books. But what did you guys think? Were you just as lost as I was, or did you have problems with the story? And more importantly, which GQuuuuuuX kit did you build first? For now, that's today's tea and tiny joys. Thanks for stopping by. Let's grab another cup soon and see what other hobbies await us. Keep your tea warm and your heart a little lighter. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Anyways, stay amazing!